What's up, everybody? Steve here. Hope you're all doing awesome on this fine Tuesday. Hey, I wanted to show you a doc that we came up with for our clients, which is incredibly helpful. And honestly, it's the same style and process of a system that I've used to onboard hundreds, if not thousands, of salespeople. And I call it our onboarding sprint. And basically, what this is designed to give really a lot of structure to your new hires that come in and how you onboard them. So many contractors make the mistake of thinking, hey, I've hired somebody, they should be super jacked to work for me and feel super confident in what they're doing, but I don't know how I feel about them. And what they don't realize is that you are setting the stage when you first hire somebody on what kind of company you are. Like, are you organized? Are you disorganized? Are you, the kind of company that has processes and structure and systems in place that they can feel great about and have some longevity with? Or are you disorganized and it feels like you haven't hired somebody in 10 years or you've never hired somebody before? That's where onboarding sprint comes in, and it's going to be highly structured. I always try and lead a lot of our tools with sales because a lot of our founders have sales experience and they resonate with sales super easy. And so if we get your idea and concepts in places that you're usually familiar with, that's where we want to start. But over time, you'll realize that we're going to develop onboarding sprint docs for all facets of what we do in our company. And this is how we start documenting companies and getting them documentation that ultimately we can hand off to other buyers and say, here's exactly how we onboard permit runners and operations people and salespeople and accountants and all the things that you have today. So let me walk you through the onboarding sprint, how we structure it, why we structure it this way. And of course, if you'd like copies, it's in our community at billiondollarcontractor.com. In the upper right, you'll see the community tab. Go there. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. We've got a checklist. We've got roadmaps. We've got game plans. We've got scripts. We've got templates. We got all kinds of stuff there for you guys to help you out. I also just want to preface, we don't try and make things super pretty. We try and make them super functional. And the reason is that when we get overly cute with graphics and fonts and all these weird colors and things like that, it makes it really hard to edit the document. I don't know if anybody else had that problem where you're trying to edit something and all of a sudden the formatting's all over the place. We don't want to do that. We want to make it really simple for you to use this, whether it's on your phone, a laptop, you need to add something in or take something out. Awesome. We want it to be very practical. And we found that works best for our clients. So let me walk you through it. Day one is about setting the standard. That is your job as the employer on day one, is to set the standard. And we want to make sure that when we have somebody new come in, that they feel, again, like we've got a good process in place. For a lot of us, it's been a long time since you've been brand new at a job, and it sucks. Like, nobody wants to be brand new. It's like the worst thing in the world. And so we want to make sure that we welcome them to the team. We got open arms there. We have some time one-on-one with our manager first thing in the day. Now, I always found it helpful to onboard people and have their first day be a day that I didn't have a whole lot going on in the morning, or I could really block that time out. So it wasn't starting somebody Monday morning when I knew that all the fires were going to hit. It may be starting them Friday morning when I knew that we had some time. Okay. So make sure whatever day you start on, you've got some one-on-one time with their hiring manager to basically pick them up and make them feel warm and welcome to the team. You want to start off with any questions, concerns, how they feel. Do they have a way to get a hold of you? I can't tell you how many brand new people don't know how to get a hold of their hiring manager. They don't have their cell phone number. God forbid, they don't even have their email sometimes. And it is because there's a lot of recruiters that will actually help you hire in, and you do the interview, but they've never actually connected with you outside of like an email address that you have. So make sure they understand how to get a hold of you. We want to make sure we walk through the onboarding process. So we've got day 1 through 5. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to go through training and foundations. Day 6 through 8 is about ride-alongs. 9 through 12, we're going to have somebody shadowing you as you're out there. By the way, any meetings you have, here's when they're at. Make sure they're all on your calendar. Do your I-9 verification. We're going to complete a new hire tech checklist. Like I said, that is in our community. We've got that ready to go for you if you need help there. Assign them a mentor. Obviously, be careful about who you assign. Make sure you assign somebody that's aligned with your vision. And then give them some homework. Say, hey, this is the checklist. These are all the things you need. You should have gotten some emails, and we'll send some of those to you today. I want you to go home and start setting them up. Put them in as your saved links up top, whatever it may be. And make sure that you've got that, right? Day 2, here's what happens. And so you can see we're going to go through. I like to separate our trainings into 2 days. One is very logic-based. It's very mechanical-based. It's very much how-to. Like, how do you operate the systems? How do you submit jobs? How do you do those things? Okay. And the reason that I like to separate that with how do we sell an emotional side is that our brains work in two different sides of our brains. We have the neocortex and the limbic system, and we want those two things not kind of overlapping each other. And usually you have to separate those two together. Imagine trying to assemble IKEA furniture and then do a painting, right? It's hard. Like, we don't get artistic and logical. Maybe IKEA furniture is not logical. We don't do those two things very well on top of each other. And so we want to make sure we separate that out. Okay. So day 2 is like hardcore. Here's our expectations, our culture, all those things. Okay. How do we be accountable to each other? Our company story. How do we use tools, design systems, turn in jobs, all those kind of things. Day 3 is how do we sell? I've also got in here our 10-step sales process. Full disclosure, Sears came up with this process 40 years ago. It is widely considered to be the standard for how to sell in home improvement. And I've seen many top sales reps use this exact same structure. So if you're lacking sales process, we've already got one for you. It's plug and play. Okay. You just have to kind of hold people accountable to it. So I won't bore you going through the whole thing. But you can give them the structure of how it is that your company sells. Fill in the one that's right for you. Okay. So we've got everything from a trial close, addressing concerns, reinforcing value and urgency, and making sure that we've got structure to how we do things. And that is day 3. Day 4 is practice. We're going to come up with 5 homes. We're going to pitch those to our manager. And day 5 is extra if we need it. Okay. So again, we've provided like a lot of structure to our new hires to make them feel like, hey, these guys actually onboard people. They know how to do it. They've done it before. They've got a system here. I feel like I can go be successful with these guys. They seem like they've got their act together. Days 6 through 8, I'm going to do some ride-alongs. So now that I know the system and I know how it's supposed to look and operate, I get to go see it in action out in the field with one of my peers. Maybe my mentor I get to go do ride-alongs with. And then day 9 through 12, someone's going to be shadowing me. Maybe it's my mentor now goes on a ride along with me. Maybe it's my manager. Maybe it's the owner. It depends on the size of the company and how you're structured. Okay. The important thing is we want to give people framework. When they show up, they're kind of like halfway committed, right? They still had some other interviews they're waiting to hear back on. It doesn't matter how awesome you feel about them. They're kind of like testing you out still, just like how you're testing them out. Right? A lot of companies will have like a probationary period, like a 30-day probationary period. You're on probation with them as well, especially great hires. The more top tier the person is that you are hiring, the more structured and organized you need to be with how you present yourself as an employer. A+ people want to work for A+ companies, and you have to show them that you have some structure behind you that's guiding your decisions, not just emotionally based on what you're feeling that day and what you think they need or what you think they don't need. Okay. By the way, a structured sales process is super important. I didn't talk a lot about it here, but I want to make sure I cover it. A lot of contractors will make the mistake of thinking, hey, I just hired somebody that has 20 years worth of experience. They clearly know how to sell. I'm going to tell you right now, having worked again with probably 1,000 salespeople, you don't necessarily know how to sell just because you've been in sales for a long time. And don't make that assumption. And don't make the assumption that you don't have to teach people how to sell or you don't have to constantly train on sales and sales technique and sales process. We all forget it. We all get rusty. Even if they had incredible training 10 years ago, they could have fallen out of sync with that. Okay. It doesn't mean that we suffocate them and it's my way or the highway. It means that we need to give them some guidance and some structure and some training. You have to train people. No matter how experienced they are, you have to help support them. And that comes with training. So have a process that you can follow, that you feel great on. Again, I like it where we've not heavily stylized this. Modify it, make it your own, make it feel like it's yours and your company, and then use it. And I think over time, you'll be surprised how dialed in it gets. And then everybody knows, oh, wait, Steve has a new hire starting on Friday. That means he's going to want me to do ride-alongs next Friday. I'm going to make sure that maybe I want to be the next manager. I'm going to get in touch with Steve and see if he needs someone to help do those ride-alongs, right? You start building a culture around this format and around the frameworks that we got here for you. So anyways, if it's helpful, I'll put a link down for you guys to the community page. Create an account. We've got a ton of tools there for you. We've got the checklists, the frameworks, the goal sheets, the snap cards, the scoreboards, all that good stuff, as well as a whole bunch of other just trainings on how to run ads and how to sell and all those good things. So anyways, appreciate the time. I'll catch y'all later.